what's going on, guys? My name's Dynasty. What I got for y'all today again is another Mortal Kombat 11 video. And yes, indeed, you read the title of this video correctly. Got for you guys a top 5 video, the top 5 guest characters for Mortal Kombat 11. Of course, guest characters have become now a staple in every NetherRealm Studios title. It seems like even more recently than Injustice 2, we saw quite a few guest characters. I mean, come on, TMNT, that was super unexpected. 2 Mortal Kombat characters dating back to just Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat X. Guest characters are a staple for these NRS games, and of course MK11 should probably be no different. So with that in mind, this top 5 videos will be who I believe makes the most sense and has the best chance versus a character wish list. So this is going to be, just like I mentioned, who I think makes the most sense to be inside of Mortal Kombat 11 based on things that Ed Boon has said, and I guess you can say scheduling as well. So with that said, of course, drop a like on the video and let's get into it. So first things first, the most obvious pick I think right now is none other than this guy right here. Bam! The one, the only, Spawn himself. When I think of guest characters, I just think of Spawn. There has been so much hype for Spawn being inside a game made by NetherRealm Studios for years, dating back to Mortal Kombat 9, dating back to Mortal Kombat X, Injustice 2. I mean, just recently, throughout this Injustice 2 DLC cycle, it's been pretty clear that Spawn is easily like one of those characters that's like the highest in demand. For instance, right here, Boon had a character voting poll. Bam! Best non-MK guest character for Injustice 2, and by a landslide, Spawn won with 45%. From there, of course, Boon said this. Bam! So, a lot of people like Spawn then, question mark, over 3,000 likes, of course, followed by that, he said this. Bam! This guy, hashtag Injustice 2. So Boon, all throughout the Injustice 2 DLC lifecycle, played up the idea that Spawn had a really good chance to be included as a DLC character in the game, but sadly, NetherRealm Studios just didn't deliver yet again, which leads me and many others to believe if Spawn, after all this hype, was not included as a DLC character in a game like Injustice 2, a comic book game with the perfect comic book anti-hero, there's just gotta be no way that NetherRealm Studios passes on this opportunity yet again and does not include him inside a game for Mortal Kombat 11. Like, from a business standpoint, MK11 surely is going to sell just a shit ton of games. It's going to be a humongous success like these games usually are. And to throw in a character like Spawn, who, like I mentioned, has been requested since 2011. This game's dropping in 2019. For almost a decade, there's been a want for Spawn to be in an NRS game. They'd make so much cash already, but throwing in Spawn would just put it over the top. And there's really not a reason to not include Spawn because, well, they have the rights to use him. According to this article from Event Hubs dating back to 2015. Check this out. Bam! According to the comic book / figure creator, NetherRealm Studios currently has permission to use his character in some of their upcoming games. They don't have forever though, as Todd McFarlane explains that the window is limited. Now the quote from Todd McFarlane, of course, who is the owner of Image Comics, who owns the rights of Spawn, he said this: they have access to be able to use the character Spawn in a couple of their games if they want to. It's up to their decision. I gave them a window of time, so I'll just leave it to them to be able to do what it is that they want. McFarlane continued, eventually they will phone me and say, hey, we want to use him here. Is that okay? Technically it's okay because we already said yes. They're just letting us know. I don't know if they're ever going to use it. They might just squat on it. Now reading that gets me stoked, gets me excited because they can use them whenever they want to. And throw in the fact as well that, of course, like I mentioned, this game is probably going to drop, like, I guess you can say April 2019. Well, guess what also might be dropping next year too? Check this out. Bam! Todd McFarlane gives an update on his Spawn film, calling it a supernatural thriller. It turns out that there's going to be a new Spawn film coming out really soon, possibly 2019, 2020, it says here also. Bam! After a lull from the spotlight, new details have now surfaced on a planned Spawn movie that is being made by none other than Todd McFarlane. He's the creator of the character and also the co-founder of Image Comics. McFarlane is teaming up with Jason Blum and Blumhouse Productions, the guys who, of course, made Get Out and Split, for the new cinematic outing, which McFarlane will also direct. So you guys do know, NetherRealm Studios loves to have like cross-promotion, cross-marketing between a guest character in like a film, a guest character in a TV series, and this is literally the perfect storm, the perfect reason to include Spawn in Mortal Kombat 11, because shortly afterwards, his movie can drop, people will be familiar with the movie coming out, they'll be like, oh yeah, I saw Spawn inside of Mortal Kombat 11, I'll check out this movie, it works out for both parties, it makes the most sense, they've done this before, and I think Spawn has to be a guaranteed lock at this point. So moving on to the second character I have on the list right here, it's going to be none other than this guy, Bam! Pennywise the Clown, gotta be your favorite horror clown. Now, last year, the It reboot was dropped, and it was a massive success. It was a critical hit, honestly. I loved the film. If you watched it, you probably loved it too. And what's cool as well is dating back to like 2015, 2014, Boon actually has acknowledged the idea of Pennywise being inside of Mortal Kombat. Check this out. Bam! Boon once said, "Is it just me, or is this kinda dark? Hashtag future DLC," and of course it's a picture of Pennywise and Ronald McDonald fighting over just who is crazier and scarier. From there, Boon has also asked this years ago too. Bam! Pennywise in Mortal Kombat X, and of course his response to that was, "I want to see him fight Sweet Tooth." So like I mentioned, Boon has acknowledged the idea that he wants to see Pennywise included as a DLC character in a game like Mortal Kombat. Now, what's interesting too is, of course, like I mentioned in the last guest character, that this game is meant to drop like in 2019, April 2019. Well, guess what's dropping next year? Bam! It Chapter 2, September 2019. The exact same, I guess you can say, response I had for Spawn's film can work in this regard too. I think it would be perfect cross-promotion, cross-marketing for both the film and the game. And I mean, just think about it. We've seen so many horror icons, slasher icons from like the 80s, the 90s make appearances inside of Mortal Kombat. We had Freddy, we had Jason, we had Leatherface. Pennywise fits that bill pretty good. Now, he's not as iconic as Jason or as iconic as Freddy, but after the success of the recent film, he's got to be on the same par as Leatherface, if not even higher. And I think there's actually some want for Pennywise, whereas like Leatherface, nobody was really wanting Leatherface. When Leatherface got showcased inside the trailer, everybody was like, what? This can't be real. Is this really happening? Like, it was really random, out of left field, whereas, like I mentioned, Pennywise just had a movie. He's having another movie. There's actually, like, a want for him. And, I mean, come on. Seeing a balloon fatality inside of MK11, you can't tell me that wouldn't be cool. His gameplay would be interesting. I'm not sure they pull it off. They usually do. In other studios, makes things work. So hey, this idea of Pennywise being inside of Mortal Kombat 11, I'm all for it. And most of you guys are probably all up for it if you like these slasher icons, these horror stars. And speaking on this idea of having characters like that, what would Mortal Kombat be if it just came to an end and we only got Freddy and Jason, but we didn't get this guy right here? Bam! Of course, that being Michael Myers from the Halloween franchise, the Halloween saga. He's like the very last of like super duper classic iconic slasher stars that have, you know, just yet to be included in a game like Mortal Kombat. So if we don't get Pennywise, we better get Michael Myers. And of course, he fits the bill. Like I mentioned, we've seen Leatherface, we've seen Predator and Alien, but not Michael Myers. It's really weird. Now, what's interesting too is like the last two guest characters. Check this out right here. Bam! There's a brand new Halloween movie dropping October 19th, 2018. I think just this last month, they finished wrapping up filming. It's starring Jamie Lee Curtis, and what's crazy about this brand new movie dropping in 2018 is dating back to 2015, the man himself, Ed Boon, said this. Bam! Halloween Returns movie, ... So Boon, back in 2015, was excited for this brand new Halloween movie, and of course Boon's also been open to the idea of having Michael Myers as a guest character. For instance, right here, bam, somebody asked him, how about this guy for possible DLC? And of course, attached to the tweet is a picture of Michael Myers, and his response to that was that would work. Even a bit more recently, Boon said this, bam, this is one reason we chose Jason Voorhees from Mortal Kombat X instead of Michael Myers. Hashtag Happy Halloween. And it was a vine of Michael Myers dancing. It's, I'll spare you the video because it was a bit cringe. But yeah, so Michael Myers has been teased by Ed Boon. The movie drops late this year. The game comes out early next year. I guess you can say just picture Jason as Michael Myers, and that could be his playstyle, just a superhuman with a bunch of strength who, instead of using a machete, uses a knife. He could still, I guess, have health regen. He could do like the same special move where he sneaks up behind you, I guess technically, because he kind of has like just this really knack for sneaking up on people. And it's Michael Myers. Like, NetherRealm Studios would pull it off perfectly. They pulled off Jason, they pulled off Alien, they pulled off Predator. They always pull off these iconic characters. They would just capture the essence of Michael Myers just perfectly. And if he's not inside of Mortal Kombat 11, that would be just, that would honestly really suck. If we have one slasher star, I hope it's Michael and not like, I don't know, some Jeepers Creepers or some other random one that we're not thinking of in this list. Moving on though to the fourth guest character, I think we can see a really strong chance inside of Mortal Kombat 11. It's this guy right here. Bam! The one, the only, the Terminator himself. I know you're sitting back and thinking, Dynasty, yeah, I know how you're starting these reasonings for these guest characters making an appearance. There's gotta be no way that this fourth DLC guest character has a movie coming out like the first, the second, and the third character on your list. Well, surprise! Bam! Untitled Terminator reboot coming in 2019, starring Arnold himself, being directed by James Cameron. And I can't make this up. All four of these characters have movies either dropping later this year or, next year. And what's crazy too is there was actually talks of the Terminator being inside of Mortal Kombat X. Boon confirmed that. Check this out. Bam! The Terminator wants to join our game, at Boon. And of course, his response to that was that conversation did happen. And it's crazy because, I mean, hey, it did happen. There was talks about having the Terminator inside of Mortal Kombat X, which means that it's possible that he could be inside of Mortal Kombat 11, launching alongside the movie. Now, he has been a guest character in other games as well. For instance, bam, he was, I think, a pre-order bonus for WWE 2K16, so really wouldn't be too hard to get the licensing, I guess, for him being a guest character. And of course, Boon has been a very big vocal fan of the franchise for years now. He's constantly tweeting about this brand new movie coming out, and just dating back to a few years ago, he had a voting poll right here. Bam! Of these, which was the best Terminator movie? And what's crazy too is I found this tweet dating back also to 2015 where he says this, bam, E3 was great because we didn't have to show a new game. All I had to worry about was the secret room. We were showing Terminator and Alien DLC. And of course, this was during the life cycle for Mortal Kombat X. And out of the Terminator and Alien became a DLC character. So who's to say that Terminator wouldn't become a DLC character either? Boon's always teasing and giving us some insight on, some small things that may or may not happen in the future. Alien became DLC. I don't see why Terminator does not have a solid chance to be included inside a game like Mortal Kombat 11. Now, last but not least, finding a fifth guest character that I guess really made the most sense was kind of difficult, so I guess this is going to be like my one wild card out of everything. And just keep in mind, for the most part, the listing in this video is pretty much irrelevant because I think every character with the exception of Spawn has like the same amount of, I guess, percent of having a chance to be included inside of Mortal Kombat 11. I think Spawn is without a doubt the clear front runner, but after that, it's all up in the air. Any of these guys could make just, a spot on the roster as a guest character for Mortal Kombat 11. So finding a fifth one that fit the criteria as the others, it was kind of hard to sit down and decide. I guess the one notable mention I had was Ash from the Evil Dead. I've seen him demanded for a couple of years now, and yeah, I mean, why not? But trying to think of one that just would make the most sense is kind of hard, so I did something a bit different in comparison to the others. Of course, you guys do know back inside of Mortal Kombat 9, we had Kratos as a console exclusive character for the PlayStation 3. Sadly, the Xbox owners did not ever get an exclusive guest character, so saying theoretically this would ever happen again, this is going to be like my one wild card because I have for you guys some console exclusive guest characters. Pretty predictable, I think, because, well, for instance, bam, Marcus Phoenix for the Xbox One. Now, this is where things get a bit interesting. So, of course, you remember how Kratos was the console exclusive for the PS3 for Mortal Kombat 9. Well, it turns out the guys over at Another Studios and at Boon wanted a console exclusive for the Xbox, but it did not get pulled off. Now, check out this tweet. Bam. Somebody asked Boon, could you please consider Marcus Phoenix as a DLC character for Xbox? I'm sure Cliffy, that being Cliff Bleszinski, wouldn't mind. From there, Boon's response was, we wanted to, but couldn't. From there, just a few months later, back in 2011, guys, 2011, this is happening in 2011, somebody asked Boon, what would have been the Microsoft exclusive if you had a choice? And of course, Boon said, I would have wanted Marcus Phoenix from Gears. And then from there, I guess Cliffy B saw that tweet, and of course, Cliff Bleszinski at the time was like in charge of Epic Games. Epic Games makes, well, at the time, they made Gears of War, and of course, he said, hit me up about that. So there were some discussions about Marcus being a guest character for Mortal Kombat 9. It just never came true. And of course now, Epic Games is working on a game like Fortnite, which is like the biggest thing ever, and Gears of War is being run by Microsoft Studios, I believe, the Coalition, a Microsoft studio. So could this ever happen again if they, did pull off console exclusive characters? I'm not too sure, because Cliff Bleszinski is gone. He's also working at another studio, and like I mentioned, it's a completely different company now working on Gears of War. Would they allow a character like Marcus Phoenix to be used in Mortal Kombat 11? I'd say so, probably. It makes the most sense because, I mean, Xbox owners like myself, who play on all consoles but exclusively grew up playing on the Xbox, I would love to see Marcus use his chainsaw, his Lancer, and just cut someone down the middle like he was Leatherface in Mortal Kombat X. So that would be super cool. It makes the most sense. Marcus, his dialogue, his intros would be hilarious. I would have killed to have seen Marcus inside of Mortal Kombat X. So if it ever happens again in the future, which I hope somehow, some way it does. I don't know if they're ever going to do console exclusives again, but they did for the Xbox. Marcus Phoenix would be sick. And honestly, who else would be on the Xbox side of things? Like, I don't think Microsoft would like to see Master Chief get decapitated. Forza, we're going to see like a supercar just fighting inside of Mortal Kombat. I guess Killer Instinct could, be pulled off too, like Jago or so in Saberwolf. But I think just, Marcus Phoenix, we've seen him die in the multiplayer several times, get his head popped off by a long shot. Like, it's a gory game. Marcus fits the mold perfectly, and I think he would still be the front runner for a console exclusive guest character on the Xbox One. I think so. Personally, that would just be sick. Though it's coming 8 years later, I wouldn't complain. Now, moving on to the PlayStation side of things, who would PlayStation get for the second time? It can't be Kratos again, can it? Maybe, I don't know. So who would it be? I think it'd be this guy right here. Bam! I think it would be none other than Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal. Now, interestingly enough, Boon over the years actually teased this idea too. For instance, just recently, check this out. Bam! Boon said, "These are really satisfying my," in all caps, "sweet tooth, hashtag too vague." And of course, this is just classic Boon teasing and acknowledging the idea, like, yeah, being playful and teasing the idea of Sweet Tooth being a DLC character for Mortal Kombat X. This is back in 2015, and also back in 2014, somebody said this, bam, Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal should be in MKX. And of course, Boon said, how fun would that be to play? Now, lastly, the very last tweet, dating back to, of course, 2015 as well, during the MKX life cycle, somebody said Sweet Tooth for the PS4 and Marcus for the Xbox One. Boon said that would be pretty cool. So Boon actually liking the idea of both Sweet Tooth for the PS4 and Marcus on the Xbox One if they ever did console exclusive characters in the future. And hey, Sweet Tooth is pretty neat. And like I mentioned, if it's not going to be Kratos, who else could it be for PlayStation? I think Sweet Tooth, it just fits the mold perfectly. And he's already been teased over the years, so why not just throw him in the game as well? But guys, that is all I got for y'all today. About to be 18 minutes of me talking and ranting about who I want to see as guests inside of Mortal Kombat 11. So of course you had Spawn, you had Pennywise, you had Michael Myers, you had the Terminator, and of course, if there's ever a chance that we see console exclusive characters ever again, I want Marcus on the Xbox, and I want Sweet Tooth on the PlayStation. Anyways, that is all I got for y'all today. If you did enjoy the video, please drop a like on it, and I'm very curious, who do you want to see as a guest character inside of Mortal Kombat 11? I know some of you guys hate guest characters, but if you watch this whole thing, clearly you're interested in them. So if you could pick, I guess you can say, 5 guest characters to be in MK11, who would you pick? Let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, been here from Dynasty. Take care, stay safe. Thank you for watching this super long video. I recorded it at 5 in the morning, so hey, if I sound tired, I'm sorry. Thank you for all the love on these MK11 videos. You guys are the best, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
You one of the greatest. You deserve more exposure, man. You underrated. To all the Dynasty haters, promise you'll love him later. Y'all gon' react like he did when he seen the trailer. But hold up, let me hit y'all with a twist. Wait, I'm Sub-Zero. The rap game is the Lin Kuei. You see, I've been a fan of Dynasty for years now. GTA, MK, and Justice. I'm still down. Rapper.